welcome to Something Unoriginal. On today's episode, we talk with Austin Wilson, a professional poker player, on what it's like his first time on the World Series of Poker, what it's like going pro, and what the serious poker scene here in Utah looks like. If you enjoy this episode, please like, follow, and rate the show. It helps us grow and keeps the episodes coming. Also, follow us on Instagram at Something Unoriginal Podcast so you never miss updates on the show. Thank you. We'll just jump into it then. What's up, Austin?
Oh, like I said, as I walked in, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. My
For the
guy.
last 6 months or so, it's been pretty much the same, just playing cards.
I love it, dude. I love it. You're getting into poker. You've been into poker for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Colby a little bit about it in his episode, and you guys just kind of got together, started playing poker, and then you took off with it.
Yeah, it was funny. It was even before Colby even started playing. We actually tried to get Colby to play with us for a long time, and he wouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, but Dryden and Ashton and Will threw a poker night at their house, just a little $5 tournament.
That's right.
Yeah, long time ago, 2019 probably.
Yeah.
And I went and played, and I was like, because I'd always kind of liked the game, as a kid. I always thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we played that, and I was like, damn, this is fun. And then we just started playing every week. COVID came around, and then we were just all of us had nothing else to do, so we were playing 2-3 times a week, just pulling up to Will's house, and we just play poker.
Was this when they were at the trap house?
Yeah, the trap house.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. And then what kind of really took it to the next level is me and Mike Fetters and his buddy Dan.
Gotta love Big Mike.
Gotta love Big Mike. We I saw that there was a poker tournament in Wendover. They do a nightly $100 tournament.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, dude, that'd be so fun if all of us went out there and tried it. And I fucking won it, which was so funny. I had no idea what I was doing at the time, but I just got so lucky, and I just won this tournament for $1,000. And I was like, "What? This is so sick! This is the coolest thing ever!"
10 times return in a matter of hours.
I know,
That's
dude.
sick.
It was so cool, and then I was so hooked after that, man. I was so hooked.
Damn, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Dude, so for those people that don't know, the Trap House used to be this place in Orem that I don't know, one of our buddies from high school or something bought and then rented it out to a bunch of our friends, yeah. And so it was just a place to go and hang out. It was always, everything was going down at the Trap House.
Yep.
Invites to parties and everything like that were always hey, Trap House at 8 p.m. or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that I guess I did because we were talking to Colby and he brought that up, that it was over at Trap House, and then they moved, obviously, made it back to Colby's house. But you run with it, man. Knowing things about you, you always get super into something and then run with it. You know everything about that thing when you do.
Yeah, man. I don't get into things casually. It's kind of funny. I can't casually be into anything, even, I don't know, anything at all. But yeah, poker was the one most recently where I was just got into it, and I was like, fuck, man, this is so awesome.
For sure, dude.
So I just dug in, man. I studied so much, learned so much about the game.
Well, even with skateboarding and stuff in high school, you've always been super
into that. Even when we played basketball right after high school, I got super into that.
Yep.
I got into, I don't know, man. It's just that's just how I roll.
Yeah, for sure.
If I'm into something, I
just
dive in,
take it
man.
and run.
Yeah.
Dang. Normally that's an ADHD thing. Do you feel like you have ADHD?
I don't know, man. I'm sure I've got all kinds of stuff going on up here. I don't really know. I've decided just not to worry about it too much, whether it's autism, ADHD, or whatever else. I don't know, man.
Oh man, that's good stuff, dude. Well, hey, so you obviously started playing poker. You were doing it weekly. What's the story behind you going to the World Series? How'd you get there?
So there's a little bit of there's some room in between that Wendover tournament and the World Series. There's probably 2 years in between there.
Okay.
So I went out in Wendover. I met a guy who does bar tournaments in Utah, and I went and started playing those, and it was really fun. But at those bar tournaments, I met some guys who played for real money, 1-3 is what I call real money, but where you buy in for $300 and you cash out at the end of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I want to try that, and I got smacked the first couple times I went, and I was like, shit, I need to get better at this.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I was studying, trying to get better, and then through some of those people I met, they were doing what's called they call it a league, a poker league.
Okay.
And so the structure of this league was they do 20 tournaments over 40 weeks. So it was basically over the whole course of a year, every other week, meeting together, doing a $100 tournament. And basically you get points based on where you rank
Okay.
in this league, and how you finish every tournament every week, every other week.
I imagine
And-
there's like a leaderboard up on the wall
Yeah,
or something that they do.
leaderboard.
Okay.
Yeah, they update the points and stuff. I thought that sounded really fun, so I dove in. I was like, I'm not missing a single game. I'm gonna be there, like going for it. Just like I said, dive in if I'm into something, right?
Oh, for sure.
So, gets down to game 20, and me and this other guy are basically tied for first.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, like after like 20 weeks of grinding. And what we decided to do, we were like, dude, I don't want to like play one tournament for this, $10,000 prize for the World Series of Poker. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that, but that's what the prize was. Whoever
Yeah.
finished most in the league goes to the World Series. And we were like, let's just split the money, man, and then we'll put up $5K of our own money.
Yeah. So the prize was they're paying for your entry into the
Yes.
World Series. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
which is a 10 grand buy-in, correct?
Mhm,
Okay.
10K buy-in. But
Yeah.
the interesting thing about it is the league would get half of your action in the
Okay.
in the tournament. So basically, like, say you cash for 20,000, you keep 10, the league keeps 10, and then whatever percentage, however many games you played, you get a percentage of that 10K back from the league. If that makes
Okay.
sense. So you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
so you basically everyone has an investment. Whoever goes.
Yeah.
Which was a really cool format, obviously for everyone this year because they got a piece of me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
Lucked out on that one.
right. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. So we decided to split it. We were like, I don't want to just play one tournament for all this massive prize. Like it's too much. So we split it. Me and this guy. This guy's name's Q. He's a super cool guy. So I just basically took up like just all the cash I had laying around.
Yeah.
For the 5K, and then took the 5K from the league, and I was like, all right, going for it, man.
Yeah.
Just going all in. And so yeah, that's kind of how I ended up there, which maybe being a bit financially irresponsible, but
Hey, man. Bet on yourself. That's the way to do it.
Right?
If you're going to bet on anything, bet on yourself. Dang, dude. Okay, so you start with these like weekly tournaments. You obviously win the leaderboard, go to the World Series of Poker, make it to first night of World Series of Poker. What were your thoughts like going into it?
yeah. So I was the night before. I was actually in Lake Powell.
Yeah,
Me and Bailey drove from Lake Powell to Vegas, and we like stayed the night. And I was sitting there in my hotel room, and I was like, "Holy shit, man, this is crazy." Like barely slept, like so nervous.
Yeah.
Got like $10,000 cash in my backpack, which I don't know. I hate doing that.
So do you have to pay in cash at the like showing up of the event? It's not like a transfer of
I
money
mean,
or
you
anything
can do
before?
like wire transfers or whatever
okay.
or anything. I don't know. I just wasn't really familiar with how it works, so I literally just bought $10,000
That works.
in dollar bills.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So day one, I get there, we get some coffee in the morning. I'm like barely slept. Go sit down, and it was funny. I was like sitting at one of like my favorite seats on the table. I really like sitting on like the far corners of the table
Okay.
for some reason. I don't know why. I just really. But
It's just
like,
the money spot, man.
I know it is. You can see everyone.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because your seat draw is random. It's like completely random
gotcha.
where you sit. That you don't get to pick because there's an advantage based on that. You can, if you're on the left or right of a good player.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was sitting in a seat I really liked, which was like nice for my mental. And then table kind of filled up, and I was like, oh, this table doesn't look too tough. Like there's only like 3 pros at the table. And then there's like a couple old guys and then one crazy dude. And I was like, oh, awesome. This will be great. And then, we start shuffling up and dealing. Cards start coming. And, I'm like still very nervous. Like every single hand I'm playing, my heart's like fucking pounding out of my chest. And then there's this hand like at the end of like level 1 or 2, like within the first like 3 or 4 hours of the tournament. I'm heads up with a pro. And I fully outplayed him on the river. Like I checked it over to him, he bet, and I raised with nothing, and he folded. And I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, cool, I can hang. Like I'm good. I can hang. We're good.
Yeah, you're like this dude noticed what he's talking about, and I just schooled him. So
Yeah. No, he was a full blown professional, and I
Yeah.
like had to outplay him after only ever like I don't know, never playing a World Series of Poker tournament in my life.
yeah,
So that like gave me like all the confidence I needed, and I was like, okay, we're good, man, we're good. And then like halfway through the day, they break down our table. They like took everyone from all the outside tables and moved them into the big room.
okay,
And then I got to my second table, and I was like, holy shit, all these guys suck. Like, everyone at the whole table
Yeah.
was terrible.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, oh my goodness, this is the best. And then I just ran up a stack.
Yeah, yeah.
And then out of nowhere, the end of the day came. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Day 2, here we come.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was pretty cool because I've always like seen like the videos and like stuff of like people like bagging up chips. Like get like those cool bank bags that are sealed and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's cool, man. Like that's awesome.
I get one of these bags.
Get one of these bags. So bagged up my chips, went home. And then there was like a gap day. Not home. I went back to the hotel. There's like a gap day between day 1 and day 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, because isn't day 1 split into 2 days?
It's split into 4.
Oh, 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then day 2 is split into 2 days. It's
Okay.
such a big tournament. It was 8,600 people.
Yeah, yeah.
8,600 people entered. So it was like, I don't know. So they split everything up big time. So I had a gap day.
Mm-hmm.
So like me and Bailey just went and hung out. We went to Top Golf.
As you do.
Yeah, just whatever. And then that night, didn't sleep at all again. I was just like tossing and turning all night, so nervous. And then one of the coolest things that came up was you can draw, like you can look at your table draw in the morning before you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have like a list of everyone's name at your table and how many chips they have. But what the smart people do is there's a database online. It's called the Hendon Mob.
Okay.
And it has everyone who's ever played a poker tournament, whoever cashed in a poker tournament, has all the money they've ever won in poker on a website.
Oh, interesting.
So what
I
you
didn't know
do,
this.
yeah, it's a really cool website. You can like it has it by state and everything.
Yeah, what's it called?
Hendon Mob.
Hendon Mob?
Yes.
Okay.
So what you do in the morning is you go through your whole table and you look at how much everyone is cashed for, what events and stuff, and you can kind of get an idea of what you're walking into. And there was one guy at my table who had like 200K in cashes, and I was like, oh, dude, that's sick. Like, this guy's fucking killer. Like, you know, this guy's going to be awesome.
This is the real deal.
Yeah. And he was sitting right on my right, which is nice. Because generally what you want to have position on the important players. Being in position, you're going to be on their left. So it was really nice. I was directly on his left.
That makes sense.
All day.
Because the turns go clockwise.
Yes, clockwise. Okay. So usually it's like a massive, massive advantage to be acting second versus someone.
Okay.
Because I get way more information about what you're doing and what in the hand. I get to dictate the action way more.
Oh, for sure.
But I was sitting on his left, and then everyone else at the table, like, there was no one that I was like, oh, and then there was one super pro, like super, super pro, very, very good. Mm-hmm. But he was short stack, so it didn't like bother me as much.
Okay. So he had kind of messed up a little bit on his first day. Okay.
Well, and maybe just ran bad. I don't know. You never really know.
What you're saying.
But then all day, kind of, day 2 was a little bit less eventful. It was kind of just like a slow build, nothing as much. But what was cool, gave me like another like confidence booster throughout it. I was talking to that guy that was on my right, the pro that had like 200K in cashes or whatever, and he like asked me if I played for a living, and I was like, no, man, like I just like play 1-3 in Utah or whatever. He's like, bro, come out to Philadelphia, you crush the games out there.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
no way.
What? No way, man. This is sick.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing about poker is it's like, it's really hard to know how good you actually are at it because a lot of it, I mean, you could be like the best player in the world and lose for like a month straight.
Oh, yeah. Because there's streaks and stuff like that.
Streaks and you get hot and cold. You just get stupid unlucky. Like, if you lose a 90-10 twice in a row, like, it's crushing, man. It would ruin your whole month.
Yeah. What's a 90-10, by the way?
Like 90%, 10%.
Oh, as far as like probability of winning the hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So like I've had like months like that before where you lose like an 80-20 like 5 times in a row, and you're just like, holy shit, man, like it's crazy. But yeah, so I was talking to this guy on one of the breaks, and he was like, yeah, man, you'd crush the games out in Philly, man. Like, I was like, wow, like maybe I don't know. And I always like knew I was like okay because I like track my results and like was like sort of winning on average.
Yeah. You're always in the upper half at least, like every time we watched. Yeah,
for sure. Well, and the funny thing about poker is like, I think what they say is like 90% of players lose and about 10% win.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Because the players that win so much that they don't leave a lot for like the middling players. Mm-hmm. And then there's also the rake. So like the house will take a percentage of everything. So like basically what they say is about 90 to 85% of players lose, and then like 15 to 10% win.
No way.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Lucrative in Vegas casinos, I guess. That's why the game is so strong there.
I know. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like really the only eventful thing that happened on day 2. It was kind of just like slow grind, built it up, and then bagged up the chips again at the end of the day, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing, went back to the hotel, didn't sleep at all, like, super nervous. Yeah. And then day 3 came around, and this is like one of the craziest things that happened the whole tournament is like there's this guy named Bryn Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
He's like either number 1 or number 2 on that Hendon Mob database of all time
interesting.
in poker.
Yeah.
So like one of the 2 biggest earners in poker history. And some storylines had like been going around about him like being kind of a cheater, like an online cheater. He had, and so, but he like in the main event, like ran up this massive stack.
Yeah.
And like so there was some stories going about it on day 2 that I was kind of seeing. I was like, oh cool, you know, Bryn or whatever. And then I look at my table draw for day 3. Boom, Bryn Kenny directly at my right.
No way.
I was like, holy shit, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it was like he had this like massive pile of chips.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Whoa, no way. This is cool.
No way, dude.
So day 3 was the day is the money bubble. So this is like the most important day, like where it's like what they call like moving day. Actually, they kind of call day 4 moving day, but day 3 is like the bubble day. So like there's like a big tension in the room even on day 3, but it's bubble doesn't burst till the end of the night.
The bubble bursting is when every player that's left is in the money,
yes.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they paid like 1,000 people or something like that, and min cash was like 17,000.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So like plus 7,000 for the 3 days of work or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So on that day, so how they do it is they break down the tables like from outside to in, and I got started right on an outside table.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got moved off of Bryn Kenny's table like right away, and then my next table broke again. I moved like hopping over tables all day.
Yeah.
And then like my 4th table, I got moved into the big room, into the main room with all the TV and the lights and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really cool. Playing in there is so awesome. But got moved to this table, and it was a bunch of crushers, like just great players in every seat. And I made the mistake of mentioning that I had gotten into the tournament on a satellite. So like I like didn't have any, like I was like had no experience for like a good like half hour. Man, they were just going after me.
Really?
Yeah, like re-raising every time I raised. Like I was getting isolated all the time. People were running sick bluffs.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it was hard, dude. It was tough because at this point we're like 100 people away from the money with 1,000 left.
Yeah.
And so like every decision is like worth like a lot of money at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like there's like so much pressure, and like these guys were all like so good. It was like the most like nerve-wracking moment. And the really, really unfortunate thing was I had like an above average stack for the tournament. Mm-hmm. But for my table, I was at one of the shorter stacks.
Oh, interesting.
Which is like just like stupid unlucky.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like just really, really unlucky. Like that doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So I like was getting put in some like really tough spots, and it was just brutal. And so at one point I was like, dude, I think I'm just gonna basically sit out until the money bubbles burst, because like it's too hard. I'm not gonna be able to play well. I'm not gonna be able to like. This money means too much to me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And these guys, have like over $1 million in cashes, and they're like just like crushing. They don't give a fuck,
Yeah, for sure.
Like, fuck this kid, like I'm gonna put him to the wire here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I was like, I don't know, I was like in these rough spots for a while, and then we got down to like hand for hand is what they call it. So when you get really close to the money, what people will do is they'll just sit and wait with their cards. They won't act.
Oh.
They'll just wait. And like there was this guy at the table next to me. They were calling the clock on him every single hand.
Really?
So he'd sit there, he'd get his cards, and it'd be his turn, and he'd just sit. And he'd sit, he'd sit. Yeah,
because at that point, you're just waiting on everybody else around you to bust.
Because
you don't have to worry about it.
There's so many tables that people are going to bust.
Yeah.
So to prevent that, what they do is hand for hand, where every table plays one hand, and then they stop.
Oh, interesting.
And then they say, all right, everyone play one more hand.
Yeah.
So this takes fucking forever.
I imagine, yeah.
There were like 3 people from the money or something like that when they went to hand for hand, because the stalling was so like unbearable for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I remember even just looking at the live updates and being like, why is nothing happening?
Yeah, no, because nothing happened for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like there was like, so to knock 3 people out, it was seriously like, we played 5 hands or 6 hands or something like that. And it was like 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and thankfully, like I didn't have any decisions in that spot. It was nice. Like I could, it was all just folds, which was great because I just
float through it.
didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they're like bringing beers out, all the servers and stuff. Like it was like everyone's like basically celebrating at that point. But there's like 5 dudes in the room who aren't gonna make the money.
Yeah.
Everyone's yeah, dude, everyone's partying, and then there's
guys
the,
that are like, like on the verge of getting knocked out.
Yeah, $7,000 that they don't get now. But yeah, no, the bubble is like it was a very cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like when it finally burst, everyone in the whole room starts applauding and
Really?
everything. Yeah, everyone's
that is
so
so cool.
psyched. But I mean, you got to feel for the 2 dudes who are like,
Yeah.
man, no,
They
we
have
were
to
the
grab their backpack and
actual
walk
bubble
out.
boy.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't. I feel bad for those people for sure. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
we're all hyped. Bailey's there. She like came and was in the room. We were just hanging out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Went to bed. Went back. No partying or anything. I was like, nope.
Oh yeah, you got to be locked in.
I'm
for
locked
this,
in,
Yeah.
man. Trying to get sleep. I like at this point in the tournament, I was getting like a little bit better sleep, but still not great because
Yeah.
the pressure's going up now.
Oh yeah.
Day 4 is like huge.
Yeah.
My buddy Q, who I split the prize pool with, made the money too.
Oh yeah.
Just barely. He squeaked in. Like,
Really?
He had like a tiny little nub of chips when he made it
No
in.
way.
Yeah.
At least he wasn't Bubble Boy.
I know. He wasn't the bubble boy. But yeah, he squeaked in, made one. And then day 4 comes around, and he made like one pay jump and then got knocked out. But day 4 was my best day of the tournament. I like drew a good table. There was no one at the table like that I thought was even better than me.
Oh,
which was really like good for a 10K,
Yeah.
right? And especially at the time, I've gotten so much better since then. But
Oh yeah.
and I just like vacuumed up chips for a while, man. Like grew this 6 stack.
Taking advantage of your circumstance.
No, really though, man. Like I did, and then like just ran it up. And then I made a really, really bad play against a guy who I thought was just getting way out of line, and he just wasn't. He just had a full house. He just had it. But made a really bad play, lost most of my chips, and I like it was like because I like knew it was a bad play too. Like it was just purely like my fault. It wasn't like getting unlucky or anything. It was just playing poorly. So like I was like very frustrated with myself, and then had this, and then I got into this spot where I was like kind of short stack but not super, and there's like this really good player who raises, and then there's a call after him, and then I'm in the big blind, and I have queen jack suited, and I was like, my read on the situation was basically that like neither of them really can call an all in with anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, just gonna run it here,
Yeah.
all in.
Dude, it's so risky.
It was. And then the guy sits there, the really good player, he sits there and thinks for a second and then calls. I was like, fuck. I'm done. This is it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
over. And at this point I had locked up like $26,000. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
good run everyone. This was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is it's like, I think the percent, he's like 81. He has pocket aces. They just, ran into the stone cold nuts. But he's like 81 and I'm like 19%. And on the river I make a straight
No way.
for a full double up. And I was like, all right, we're back. We're good now, man.
Yeah, for real.
And then it was so sick. I was like, oh my god, what just happened, man? So I got super, super lucky, got totally bailed out.
Yeah.
And then rest of the night went really well, bagged up the chips again, and then moved on to day 5. And day 5, I got sat in the big room with the TV lights and everything,
Yeah.
which was cool. And that was a tough table. Like, recognized half the dudes at the table, like, from being, like,
No
sick
way.
pros. Like, one of, like, the best players in the world came and sat on my left for a couple hands before he got moved again, thank God. But
Oh, interesting. That's a bad place to be.
no, it was,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
It
a
was
bad
really
place to
bad
be.
place to be. It was no fun. Yeah, it like felt like I was like almost the worst player at the table. It was like total flip flop from day 4, where I was like just like cruising, super comfortable, and day 5 was like just getting beat up on. But I held my own. I like one of the guy who was sitting on my right. He was a super cool. Have you heard of the guy SoFlo Antonio before?
Yeah.
So he plays
think-
poker.
Oh,
He
interesting.
like got like a big beef with H3 like way back in the day.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
From Self. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So he
That's where I've heard of him. Yeah.
So he was sitting directly on my right during the World Series of Poker. Yeah. Super random. Like he was like a nice guy, and I could tell he was like rich as fuck because like he had
Yeah.
like all these. I don't know. I could just tell.
Yeah.
And he like had a decent idea of how to play. He was a pretty good poker player.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked him up afterwards, and I was like, oh, that dude's famous.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I've seen him before. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I was chatting with him on one of the breaks, and he was like, "Yeah, I looked you up, man. I saw that you didn't have any earnings." And I was like, "Yeah, man." No, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I thought I was gonna be able to push you around all day, but you're actually a really good player, man." And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, sweet, thanks, man. That feels good."
Like the rookie of the year coming
I know,
through,
right?
Like, nobody knows. Everybody's underestimating you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because everyone looks up everyone
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the whole thing and on your whole table, and I'm like literally the only person at any of these tables as a 0
Yeah.
on theirs. It was a full square 0, like never had anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he told me that. It was pretty cool, but we the day wasn't super eventful. I like, got a double up halfway through the day, where I was like 65-35,
Mm-hmm.
and I held for faded the 35%, which was good.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was by the end of day 5, my table was like, this is by far the toughest table I've ever played at. This is crazy, but made it through, like made it to the next day. And then day 6 is like where shit gets crazy because at the beginning of day 6, you've got $63,000 locked up.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
It's so crazy.
It's more than I was making in a year at the time, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's more than most people make in a year.
Yeah,
like,
dude, yeah. And I was like, and I really wasn't paying attention to any of the pay jumps at all on day 5.
Yeah.
I was really just like, we're not going to mess with any of that.
Yeah, yeah. Stay
But-
locked into the table. Don't worry about the money.
Don't
yeah.
worry about the money yet. The jumps aren't big enough one at a time to actually make a difference in the math,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
if that makes sense. Because there does become a point where the pay jumps matter a lot, and you
Yeah.
actually have to alter your play a lot based on them. But at the time, I was just like, nope, we're not going to worry about that. They're too small at this point. And then day 6 comes around, though, and the pay jumps are getting huge.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember the point about halfway through day 6 when we broke the 100K mark. And I was like,
dude.
wow. Holy
You're like
shit.
getting real good money this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was at the very beginning of day 6, I had pocket aces. And this guy on my right, he's a super nice kid named Tyler. Super cool guy. He's like same age as me. Which you don't meet a lot of, 24-year-olds
Oh, yeah.
putting $10,000 into a poker tournament.
Yeah, most people are like veterans for many
Yes.
years. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been
It's like
playing for-
a lot of dudes. Like the really, really good players are like in their early 30s usually.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah.
not even to your prime yet.
I know, not
You're
even there yet,
even in
man.
your prime.
But yeah, so I get pocket aces versus his pocket jacks early in day 6 and get another double up, and I'm like in great shape to make a fucking run, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And then the pay jumps just keep climbing. They keep climbing. They keep climbing. At this point, like my mom had flown out.
No way.
My phone is exploding.
Oh, yeah.
Which I wish I had just fucking thrown it away, man. I wish
Oh,
I
yeah,
hadn't looked, but I was like looking at it, responding to messages, which is so dumb. Like,
I was shocked when you kept messaging us back,
I
but at
know.
the same time, I was like, man, I want him to.
I know,
what mean?
and then I like, yeah, it was just dumb. I wish I had just like turned my phone off or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, my phone's exploding. My mom flew out. Like the moment is huge, man. Like it was crazy, but shit was just getting so stressful, man. Like it was like by dinner break, I have like 160K locked up. I'm like, my mind is exploding. And then we get back from dinner break. I sit down, and then they're like, all right, we're breaking our table. Most of you guys are going to go to a feature table. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Which is one of like 3 tables,
Three
right?
tables.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at this point, there's only like 6 tables left in the whole tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
From, coming back from, 8,000 people down to, 100 or whatever it was at that point.
Yeah.
But they said like half of you are going to go to a feature table. And I was like, oh, dude, that'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then they pass out the cards, and sure enough, boom, future table.
That's
Like, what? Cool.
Is it like a little invitation card where they're like,
Yeah, no,
just
there's
slide
like
it to you?
a little special because they like you get seat cards for every for every seat there's a little plastic card or whatever, and then
Yeah.
like there's like 4 of them that were like a different color. That
Oh,
had, like the
interesting.
different table on them or whatever, and then they make you write down your chip count and your name and your hometown
Oh, interesting.
because
Okay.
they like put it up on the graphics.
Yeah, for like broadcasting.
So I got that, go sit down at the feature table, and it threw me way out of sync. Because
Really?
we were playing on the same tables with the same cards the whole time. And then I sit down on this table. It has like a taller rail, so my arms like aren't comfortable on it. The cards, they have special cards because they like have chips in them that read and send the sensors, like, you know, so the broadcast can see what cards you have and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's how they do that. I was
Yeah.
so like, how do they know, dude? The dude's like peeking.
No, they have little
camera or
You have to
something?
they have a little box. They tell you, yeah, just put your cards in the box before, you know.
Yeah.
So you put your cards in the box, and they have a little reader. But yeah, and then the cards are all like a stiffer plastic, and like I don't know what it was, man, but I was just like totally uncomfortable as soon as I got moved
Yeah.
there. The lights are on. I've got like to worry about this mic on my chest, like all this stuff, and I don't know, it like threw me off. And then between that and all the stress of like being that deep in, like I don't know, wasn't quite right in my head at this point,
Yeah.
which was a bummer because man, what a good spot to be right in the head.
Oh, yeah.
But, like
You're on top of your game at that moment. You're
yeah, I mean at
close to the end.
at the beginning of day 6, they did like the math on what everyone's chips were worth, just like dollar amount.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this. Yeah.
Yes. So they call it like ICM, independent chip model is what it's called. And it's basically like the potential that your stack is worth based on the size of it.
Yeah.
And
So this is applied in the case of like if everybody just decides to stop the tournament,
Yes.
cash in their chips for whatever it is. That
yes, which you can't do in the World Series of Poker.
Makes
Other
sense.
other tournaments will let you do it, but
Yeah.
this one won't. But at that point, like the beginning of the day, my stack was worth like 300K. And by the end of day 6, I'm sure my stack was worth like $500,000. Like
Dude.
it was, and yeah, and I was just too stressed, not quite right in the head for it. And then like one big hand didn't go my way, where I like maybe got a little bit out of line, but it like wasn't. I don't know. I thought the play was fine. And then a couple hands later, I made kind of a blunder, and that was it.
Oh, dude.
Done.
I
And
remember
was
like watching that and just the heartbreak.
I had to, dude, and yeah, and the heartbreak was real, man. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, you were close to the end of the night too, right? Like
Half
you were.
hour away.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
After 12 hours of play, I was a half hour away from making day 7.
dude.
Yeah, man. And I just, yeah, I don't know, just kind of slipped a little bit at the end, unfortunately. But we'll be more prepared for the next one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you think
Yeah.
you'll go back through with like the same people that you did it the first time, where they're
No.
paying in? You're just going straight out of pocket.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll go play it, but I'll sell some of my action to other people.
Yeah, yeah. I'm buying in, by the way. Megs and I are like completely.
I
we're
got you,
doing it.
man. Yeah, let me know. I'll let you know when it comes around. But
Yeah. We got a few months.
yeah, we do. It's a little ways away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather just do that because this one is a 40-week commitment of little tiny tournaments, which I don't know, just would rather not do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then also I just have the money to do it anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so what I'll do is I'm gonna play like a full schedule of tournaments this summer, where I'll go play probably 30 tournaments
No
over June
way.
and July. Probably. I'm not exactly sure. I need to look at schedules and stuff and what the bankroll looks like and everything.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play a bunch. And so generally what I'll do is I'll probably sell a portion of the buy-in for all of the smaller tournaments, and
Yeah.
then I'll sell a portion of the buy-in for the main event separately,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dang, that's interesting, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you get eliminated. What was your like actual number? How many people were left when you got eliminated?
I was 40th.
Okay, you were 40th.
40th of 8,650 or something like that.
That's so nuts, dude.
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
How close were you to another pay bump? Wasn't it like 2 people away or
It
something? like that?
was 4 or
4
something.
people?
It was like
Oh,
three,
that's not as
three or
bad as I
4,
thought.
and the pay bump didn't happen until the next day.
Oh,
So it
gotcha.
didn't
So
even
you would have
happen.
had to go to the next day.
I would have had to make it the next day. Yeah, and it was like, it's so stupid because it was like a 40K pay jump,
Ah, dude.
and then the one after that's like another 50K or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Well, yeah. Once you get to a certain, what is it, like 100 people left or something like that, the pay bumps get like serious.
they start moving, man. They start moving. I mean, pay jump from 10th to 9th is like a 300K pay jump
Oh yeah.
or something.
Well,
like
and then they're like millions, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, second place got like 5 million, and first place got 10.
So who won it, by the way?
His name is Espen Jorstad.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like a longtime professional from Germany or something like that.
Has he won it before?
No one wins the main event twice.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
No, you can't.
I mean,
there's
you
too
will,
many
but-
people. Well, yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to next year, but
Yeah, yeah. You'll
one
win
guy,
it next year and then the year after.
yeah,
that.
right, back to back to back.
Yeah.
One guy's final tabled it twice.
Really?
Yes,
So even just the final table is hard.
impossible.
Really?
It's well, dude, there's 8,000 people.
That's true, and you got to have luck on your side. Plus
Yeah,
play
you got to
really
run
well.
good, plus play good, plus yeah. I mean, yeah, this guy's name is Joe Cata, and he did it, and he like won it in 2007 or something like that, and then like 2016 or something like that, he final tabled.
Oh dang! Okay.
Yeah. He final tabled with my buddy who actually took second.
No way.
Yeah.
Who? Wait, who is your buddy that took second?
So his name is Tony Miles.
Okay.
He has like one of like the most iconic heads up matches in the main event ever.
No way.
Yeah, him and John Sin played heads up like by the end of the day it had been like 16 hours.
No way.
Yeah, and he was
Because the last day, it's just there's
We'll
it
play
doesn't
until a
matter.
winner.
Yeah.
play until a winner.
There's no time. There's
Yeah.
no nothing. It's just
And they just went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Yeah. But yeah, he's from Florida,
okay.
and then last year he moved out to Utah for like skiing and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So he plays at some of the games around here. So we've got
So
to
that's
know
how you
him.
got to know.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. But yeah, he took second for like 4 million or something like that in 2016.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
That's so
It's so
crazy.
sick.
That's so
yeah, man.
cool.
He's sick, man.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
So,
for sure.
if I remember right, too, you were wearing like some hoodie of some
Oh yeah,
YouTuber or something that
Yeah.
noticed you. Or what was going on with that thing?
yeah.
I don't know who this person is. Like,
Ryan DePaulo
everybody-
is his name.
Okay.
He's so goddamn funny. So his whole bit is like kind of like trying to be like the anti-culture to poker culture, where like
Okay.
the new school poker culture is like kind of like very like almost pretentious
Okay.
and like posh.
So
It's
it's
like
like
a-
the PGA Tour guys.
Yes, a little bit. Like it's like Europeans wearing scarves and not
Mm-hmm.
saying anything at the table, and it's like, and his whole thing is like being a degenerate gambler. That's his,
like Wall Street bets kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly like Wall Street bets.
Okay.
Yes. So he like has I've always like liked his videos. I think they're so funny. So I bought his hoodie, and I was like, and it says minus EV on it, and so EV is like expected value,
Okay.
and it's like basically saying you're losing money
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
the hoodies the joke is in a smart way. And then and so I was like, oh, that'd be a funny one to wear during the main event or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I put it on, and I accidentally like get in the way of a camera guy during
That's
the
right.
bubble.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like just like trying to scoot through, and these guys are fucking flying up the because they're like on hand for hand. They're recording every single hand one by one.
Yeah.
And so they're like flying from one table to the next, and I just get in the way, and I get like fucking decked by this cameraman. And then, but it's on the live stream for the night.
Yeah.
And then the guy Ryan saw it, and he was like, "No fucking way, go DJ, like go buy my hoodie or whatever." It was really
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, it was pretty epic. He like
funny.
actually he came up to me earlier that day.
Yeah.
So he was like 50 from the money in the main event and busted.
Oh, really?
was
So
a
he
really
he finished near you.
No, 50 from the money.
Oh, 50 from the. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, not from
Yeah, yeah.
winning. 50 from the money. Yeah,
50
yeah.
from the money. So like one of the bubble boys we were talking about, like
Yeah, yeah.
the worst spot to be.
So sad.
Yeah. So he like
Rest in peace.
he like lost with kings, like to ace
Oh.
queen or something like that on the bubble. It was like super sick. But he's like walking out. He's all like sad and stuff. And then he walks up to me and he's like, and I'm sitting there with his hoodie on, and he's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, "Bro, I was so pissed about just bubbling the main event, but then I saw you wearing my hoodie, and I realized that's what this is all about. Fuck yeah, you got it, man," or something like that. I was like, "No way, what's up, man?"
That's so
And he like
cool.
put me on his vlog and everything. You can
Yeah.
like search it up on YouTube and stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was way cool, man.
You ever reached out to him or anything since or anything like that? It's a bit. I mean, I
yeah,
imagine the
no,
poker community
yeah.
is huge. It's
Yeah.
not like.
No, I saw him walking by in Vegas recently, and I didn't like say anything or anything, but
Gotcha.
yeah, he's a cool dude for sure. That was a funny moment. It was a really funny one.
So you've since gone pro because of this,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the pro life like? What do you do now that you're pro? Well, I
So-
guess mention how you quit your job and like the process of that
Okay.
first. Getting it. There's so many questions, man.
Yeah. So what happened was I won the main, won $214,000.
Yeah.
And fucking went to work the next day. Just like drove home. Me and Bailey drove home and I just went to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is, it's fine, whatever, no big deal. Just gonna
Chill.
just do my job, And then
Which at the time what were you doing?
doing video production for an MLM,
Okay, gotcha.
which I hate MLM so much.
Yeah,
So
understandably so.
I don't know. I always didn't love it just for that because I couldn't get behind what the product was because it's an MLM, so it's obviously a fucking scam. But so I was doing that, and then my boss asked about it because I posted on my Instagram. She asked how much I made, and I told her, which maybe was a mistake. I shouldn't have said anything, but
Yeah.
And then after that, there was a level of resentment that I
Because
felt.
you made more money for poker than she makes in a year.
Maybe I don't know, man. There was just this resentment. I felt like I was being mistreated for it was 2 weeks probably, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm over this.
Yeah.
I don't need this job right now, anyways. I'll just find something else.
Yeah.
So I went in and quit, and I was like, yeah, I'm just putting in my 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks. This date will be my last day, and they're like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't do the 2 weeks. Don't come back. I was like,
Really?
oh, okay,
All right,
cool.
cool,
I
yeah.
guess I don't know. No big deal.
They're
And
like,
then
you're fine. You've made enough money. You don't need this job. You're like, okay.
whatever. So then I just kind of started looking for jobs pretty casually,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, I'll just play poker full time while I'm looking for a job. And then I
Yep.
went on a sick ass upswing where I just fucking won everything for a month straight. I was like, oh, this is fun. I like
Yeah.
this.
This could be lucrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just it's like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna give it a year. Because I don't know, sounds fun. So decided I'm going to go from whatever it was, September to September,
Mhm.
being a professional poker player, see what it looks like, see how I like it, see what the money looks like, see if I like the lifestyle,
Yeah.
and then we'll reevaluate in a year.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're within that year right now, obviously.
Yes.
All
Yep.
right.
Still doing it.
Shortly after you did the World Series,
Mhm.
you went and did was it Aruba that you did this tournament?
Yes.
How did that one go? I
I
don't think
went-
I've ever talked to you about that one.
Oh, it was fun, man. So it was more of just a celebration, where it was more just oh, we'll go on a vacation for fun.
Yeah.
And it'll be cool to be able to play poker while I'm out there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's a World Series of Poker circuit event, is what they
Okay.
call it. So it's not like the World Series of Poker, but it's
Yeah.
a little mini stop. And so it was pretty cool. A bunch of people go out there just to because it's a cool vacation spot.
Yeah.
But the tournaments went really well. We got in there. Day one, we kind of just hung out on the beach or whatever, and then day two, I played a $400 tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 300 entries or something like that, and I got sixth. Which was
Okay.
sick. Yeah, it was just kind of out of nowhere. I was just oh yeah, I'll just go fire in this tournament. It'll be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just boom, 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 boom,
Just
boom, boom, boom.
wrecked it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Dude.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was so fun. Just fucking, I don't know, everything worked. And then I got super unlucky at the final table. I had pocket queen, the guy had pocket aces. It was just a super
Oh.
cooler. And if that hand goes the other way, there's a good chance I win the tournament. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't work that way.
Dang.
And then we kind of just hung out for 2 more days. And then then there's a $1,700, their main event is what they call it.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole idea, the reason people are there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was $1,700. Played that and went out in the first 2 hours I was playing. I was like,
Oh, geez.
that's not good. And then it's well, I'll re-enter. So I hop back in.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they did re-entry in some of these.
Yeah, it just depends on the tournament. Some you
Yeah.
can, some you can't.
I imagine it has to do with when you get knocked out, though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You can't just buy in with 50 people left.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And then the second entry went very, very well. Made it to day 2. And it was way cool. Made the money, and then I ended up getting 14th of same 300 or something like
Mhm.
that after the second entry, which is really cool.
Yeah. Which still final 2 tables?
Final 2 tables, yeah.
Final 2 tables,
Yeah. And I got super fucking unlucky at the end of that one too.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was probably 85-15 that I lost.
Oh, dang. No
Yeah,
way.
for all my chips at the end. It was so dumb. I was pretty pissed.
Dude, that one's that's not even your fault. That's
No,
just
it's
real
not. It's
unlucky.
just-
yeah.
sometimes you get unlucky. And the guy who took my chips ended up getting third or something like that.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's at least more,
Yeah. Yeah, no, good
least
for
have to go
him.
all the way.
But yeah, he ended up winning 40K or something like that.
Jeez,
Yeah.
man.
I know, but those are my chips. Maybe I make the 40K.
Yeah,
But-
for sure, dude. Dang, man.
But pretty cool part is another YouTuber that I really like was there as well. His name's Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dude like our age, and I got to play with him a couple of times during the main event, and then we played some cash games the night after, and it was pretty fun. I ended
that's
up actually
cool.
like making it onto his vlog and stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it was pretty fun.
Dang, man.
Yeah,
Have you ever thought about doing YouTube with all of your video production knowledge?
Yes.
And
I have thought about it. It's hard.
I mean, if you're already doing enough with what you're doing, like you're
Yeah.
a good enough player, you don't need to. But
Yeah, I've made a video. I've made one, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think you're through with video production.
Yeah, I'm
with
I'm
that.
just kind of over it. I don't know. I'd been over it for like a year
Mhm.
before I even like moved into this, but I don't know. You have to be super meticulous
Yeah.
to make poker videos. Like remembering details of hands, what cards you had, what cards were on the board, how much who bet here, how big was their stack.
For sure.
I don't know. It's a lot of work.
That makes a lot of
And
sense.
I've like put more work just into getting better at poker lately.
Which is honestly probably better for you.
Maybe, I don't know.
I
It's
think
hard,
so.
it's hard to say. I like that. I like that. But yeah.
Dang,
So,
man, that's
yeah.
super crazy. So now, I mean, now that you are a pro poker player,
Mhm.
you were telling me Monday through Friday you're playing.
So I'd play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
Okay.
every week, and then I play one weekend day. I do Friday or Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah, yeah.
and it just depends on whatever's going on.
Okay. How are you playing now? Is it like online tournaments or what is it that you're
No,
doing?
it's in like in-person cash games,
Okay. Where do you
Yeah.
playing?
just at houses in Salt Lake.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
people's places?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like,
Good practice.
well, it's for real money.
Yeah, yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of money.
Well, yeah, I guess that,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But I mean, yeah, it is good to play that much. Like, get the reps in for sure. But yeah, no, there's like games around here. They're like, you have to like know the right people to get into them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they're pretty open to just about anyone as long as you're not just the worst, you know?
Yeah. As long as you know what the cards are and how to,
Yeah.
for the most part.
No. Like, I mean, like you just suck as a person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right.
No. If you're bad at poker, we want you there. But
Yeah. I guess that makes a lot more sense.
yeah, no, yeah. The worse you are, the more you're invited you are.
Yeah, if you're just an asshole,
Nah.
that makes a
if
lot
you're
of
an
sense.
asshole that's good at cards, no, you don't get invited
Yeah,
back.
nobody wants you there.
No, but if you're a nice guy that's bad at cards, yes, please come.
Yeah, you're great to have around.
Yes.
Good to tell jokes and stuff.
Yep.
Dang, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is for sure.
What'd you do last night? I saw that like on your B reel or something you were playing
Yeah.
a tournament somewhere.
No, I was just playing cash games in Salt Lake.
It was a cash game?
Yeah.
Because it was like a nice table.
Yeah, no, dude, this place is legit, man. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a casino, but it's, just because they don't have casinos here. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a 2-5 game. I was actually playing with my buddy Tony, the one I was telling you about, Tony Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good night last night. I ended up playing till like 4 a.m. though.
That's
Which-
so crazy.
Yeah. That's the
makes
problem
sense.
with the pro lifestyle, man, is my sleeping schedule's so fucked.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. Like,
Hey, everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah, I
Their
know,
own sleep
man.
schedule, so.
yeah, it's so bad. But yeah, like like when you texted me today, I was definitely asleep.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I was like trying to confirm, and I was like, I don't know if he's even awake.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know when
I
you would
wasn't,
get home,
man.
So yeah.
Yeah. I woke up like 2 or something, like 2 or 3, whatever.
Dang. All right, I'll make a note that like reaching Austin, it's got to be like past 5.
No, it does, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, and I'll be up all night. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll text you 2 in the morning if you need.
yeah, no, I'm there. I'm wide awake.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm still working usually at 2 a.m.
That's so cool, dude. I love it, man. So this one time, it was directly after you had just won
Okay.
a bunch of money in the World Series of Poker. I don't know if I told you the story or not,
I don't know if I've heard this.
but I was at work one day and I had to go like take a delivery or something. Like I work at a solar company that sometimes you got to take product to customers. So I hop in the Tundra that we have and I go wherever it was. And on my way back, I'm going to get food. And I pull into a Jersey Mike's and I'm like, I order a sandwich and the dude is like kind of weirdly friendly with me. And I was like,
I know who you're talking about.
yep,
I know his name.
yeah,
Andrew?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I was like, "What's up, man?" Like, or he was like, "What's good, dude? What are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "I don't know, dude. Like, I don't, not sure. What are you doing tonight?" He was like, "Oh, just gonna play some poker." And I was like, "That's cool. I got a buddy who's pretty good at poker." And he was like, That's dope. I was like, yeah, he's in the World Series of Poker right now, or like he just finished or something. He was all, is it Austin Wilson? I was all, how the hell do you know Austin Wilson?
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, I play with him every once in a while.
Yeah, man. It's funny. The poker community around here is pretty tight knit. Like, because it's not as big. It's not huge.
Yeah.
It's definitely like sizable, but you definitely like if you know, definitely know most of the people around it. But yeah, I met that guy. His name's I think it's Andrew. I'm pretty sure is his name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we used to play bar poker together a bunch.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was
Yeah.
saying that you guys used to play a bunch at wherever
Little
the place was.
$10 tournaments or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, come a long way. But
That's
yeah.
so funny. Yeah, now what's your normal buy-in in a tournament nowadays?
About 1,000.
About 1,000.
1,000 is pretty standard. Yeah.
Just throwing around that.
I know,
Yeah,
dude.
I
It's like my entire like fucking like sensitivity to money is gone.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad.
That's so crazy.
Like so bad, Carter.
You're like no frame of reference anymore.
Yeah, no, and if they're chips on the table in front of me, it might as well be not worth anything because like
Yeah.
I just don't care.
That's so crazy
Yeah.
to me.
It's like I've totally been desensitized to it. Like
That's so awesome though.
I know it, and it's really good for playing poker because I can, stick, $1,000 in the middle with nothing,
Yeah.
and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's weird.
That's
Like,
so nuts, dude.
yeah.
So okay, $1,000 tournaments are like what you're normally doing. Are you doing these tournaments nightly, or are these just like your?
So there's two types of poker. There's
Okay.
cash game poker and tournament poker.
Okay.
So tournament poker, you buy in once, you pay $1,000, you get a stack of chips,
Yeah.
and then you play. The tournament goes until someone has every single chip in the room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just keeps going. Blinds keep raising up, and you just go until someone wins.
Okay.
Cash
That's
games.
that's what I think I know so far from seeing the World Series.
That's like the most. That's like the most like kind of famous version of poker.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more glory to winning a tournament. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's like, you get a trophy and like a bunch of money, and like the swings are way bigger in tournament poker, like because only like about 10 to 15% of a tournament field will get paid,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the top you make hundreds of buy-ins sometimes.
That's nuts.
But cash games is where you buy in and your chips are actually worth $1 amount.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
like last night went in, bought in for $1,500.
Oh, dang.
And I just had $1,500 worth of chips in front of me.
Yeah.
And then you play all night, and then whenever you want to, you cash out with however many chips are in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So last night, I think I ended up being in the game for like $2,000 and cashed out like $4,900.
That's
Yeah, it was a good night for sure. But like, so I made like $1,900.
yeah.
But it's just like whenever you're done.
Yeah.
So you
just
like
hop out whenever.
Yeah, you just hop out, cash out your chips for actual money.
That makes
and
sense.
you're done. So there's less.
So that's probably more how it works in like casinos normally daily.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's more like what you see on a day-to-day basis. It's like if you want to play tournaments for a living, you have to travel a lot.
Yeah.
You got to go like from Florida to Oklahoma to Texas to Nevada to California. You need to go like all over the place. But cash games you can play, 7 days a week in your hometown.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Because for a tournament to be like a good tournament, you got to get like, a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
Cash games, you just need 9 dudes.
Yeah,
9, 10 dudes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So cash games are what I play like during the week, 4 days a week. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll make little trips out of going to Vegas or Texas or probably Florida soon
Yeah.
to play tournaments.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So your most recent tournament, how'd you do? And where was it, I guess?
It was in Vegas,
Okay.
and it went very poorly. It was
Sorry.
a super bummer. Yeah, I got it all in with pocket aces and lost an 80-20 for all the chips
dude.
on day 2. It was a bummer.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was a sad one. It was really sad. It was one I really wanted to do well in too. But
Dang, man.
yeah, I can't win them all, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, luck is also part of the
Yes,
whole thing.
I know.
You can't just like jump
It's funny.
into it.
It totally is.
Dang, man. Well, what's your next tournament?
That's a good question. I've been decided. Like, I want to do something in February.
Okay.
It's probably gonna go down to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
There's like all kinds of like medium-sized stuff going on. Bunch of like $400 to like $2,000 tournaments going on during February.
Okay.
So I'll go down at some point during then. I don't
Mhm.
know, and I'll probably go play five or so of them.
Okay. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know for sure yet.
Do you like post all about them on Instagram and stuff? I think I've seen them like a handful.
Yeah,
of
if I
times,
like
but not
have
very
something
often.
pretty cool, I'll share it.
Okay.
But like nothing like, I don't know. I'm not just like gonna go post when I like win $1,000
Yeah, that makes sense.
on Wednesday night or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have like a private story that I'll like sometimes update stuff on.
Okay, interesting. So you're trying to keep a low profile when it comes to like your poker playing life.
I mean, not like super low profile. Like if people ask, I can tell them, but I don't want to be like, hey everyone, guess what? I made $250,000 this year.
Yeah, that's true. That makes a
you
lot
know,
of
I
sense.
just like don't want to be that asshole.
Yeah, that's true. But like you're also not like advertising like, oh yeah, I've gone pro. I'm
Yeah,
a pro
no. Well, A, because like
People
it's
get
kind
weird.
of people are weird, but B, it's like I don't know. Some people like will think it's cool for sure, but some people are like, the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna be broke in a year. You
Yeah,
know?
for real.
So I don't know. Like I just like don't make a huge deal out of it.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Yeah.
way to
I don't
look
know.
at
Well,
it.
and also like, yeah, I don't know. Just like don't want people to know. Like always carry like a bunch of cash on me, and
Yeah,
like
that's
I don't
true.
know. I just like keep it sort of low key at least.
Yeah, for the
But
most
like if
part.
people ask, I'm always down to talk about it because I love talking about poker. But
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely cool.
Dang, man.
I like it.
Well, hey, if we overlap at all, because I'm going to Vegas the weekend of March 31st or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. Like April, first couple days of April. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
I'm going then. If you're around, let's hang out when you're
All right.
down in
I'm
Vegas.
down.
But that's honestly like the weirdest date to
Yeah,
like.
I don't know.
We live here.
Yeah.
We could just hang out.
Yeah, why don't we just hang out here, man?
Yeah, exactly. After saying that, I was like, that seems like a really stupid thing to do.
Why are you going to Vegas?
So the company that I work for, we get profit sharing. So every
Oh, cool.
year in like March is when this big profit sharing check comes through.
Oh, nice.
And so a few guys at work, we all get together and then we just go down to Vegas to like celebrate profit
Oh,
sharing
fun.
like right after.
That's very
so
cool,
it's like
dude.
the very end of the month. But
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Well, hey, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you to follow some of your poker ventures?
Austin X Wilson on Instagram.
All right.
That's pretty much it, man.
Heck yeah. And then they can also probably find your winnings on what
Yes, Hendon Mob is the website.
Hendon Mob. Dude, I'm so bad with remembering that. I will look back on this podcast to find that website.
Yeah, no, that's it's a cool website. It's fun to check out.
For sure, man. Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, dude,
Let's
thanks
do
for
this
having
again
me.
sometime.
Will do.
All right, man. Love you, brother. See ya.
See ya.